You were never meant to just get through the day. You were created for more than survival mode, for more than piles of dishes, back-to-back appointments, and endless mental load that leaves you exhausted before the day even begins. If your world feels super messy, chaotic, if your brain feels scattered, if you've been holding it together with sticky notes and caffeine, I want you to take a deep breath right now with me. Because there is a way to bring peace into your home, clarity into your schedule, and joy into your day. And it starts right here with systems. Not hustle, not perfection, but gentle, powerful rhythms that will help you finally feel steady in the middle of all that you carry. Today, in this video, I'm giving you 10 of those systems, behind the scenes, everything you need to know, so you can stop spinning and start stepping into the life you were made for. Hey friend, I've got a killer episode for you today. I'm so excited to share this video with you. I've been running around my house like crazy, videoing all the systems. I literally am showing you 10 systems really quick, diving into some of the details and giving you a sneak peek of what some of the things that I've literally never shared, never on the podcast, never here on the YouTube channel, and I am pumped to share them with you. So if you are trying to escape your overwhelm and get organized, this is the video for you. Let's jump in. All right, we're starting with the very first system, and we have my lovely daughter here that's actually in the middle of decluttering our pantry. Is one of the jobs on the job board, and we're actually recording it for another video that is next week. And I think one of the reasons why having a decluttering system is so important is because when there's clutter in your house, you are mentally and sometimes even physically overwhelmed. It makes it really hard to know where to start. So I created a system called Escape Your Clutter many years ago. My kids kind of know the process. My 8-year-old just escaped some clutter that we had the other day. And actually, it makes it very simple for everyone in the house to understand how to get rid of stuff, how to group things together, how to clean everything out. You'll really love the video that we're recording on that. But what you're gonna love even more right out the gate, I'm gonna share with you an incredible opportunity that we have right now. It's called the Escape Your Overwhelm Challenge, where I'm not only teaching you how to escape all of your clutter in your house, I'm going to give you that system. You can go to chelseajoe.co/escape challenge to register, grab a free seat. It's a 5-day challenge. We start out day 1 having a challenge of actually escaping, and I teach you the exact method on how to do that. But we're also going to be escaping your to-do list. We're going to be escaping your work block. We're going to be escaping several other things and teaching you at the very end of it how to escape all of the crazy time that you're wasting on a regular basis by teaching you how to put it all together and repeat an incredible system for managing your home and your business, plus your goals. Maybe diving deep into how to make sure that you get your clutter, your time, all of the tasks that you have to do under control so that you can actually reach your goals. If you're interested in escaping your overwhelm so that you can reach your goals and juggle home and business with ease, then head over to chelseajoe.co/escape challenge. So before we jump into the second system, the last thing that I want to say about having a system for decluttering is you don't need something complicated. My daughter literally pulled everything out. She's sorting it into groups. She's combining like with like. She's putting it back in there after she cleaned out the shelves, and we're done. So many people overcomplicate this, and it really doesn't have to be that complicated. Why? We make mountains out of molehills, and that's what holds us back. But now you know the solution, and now we're gonna jump into system number 2. System number 2 that I wanna share with you is a meal planning system. Hands down, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you likely don't have a meal planning in place. If you're trying to focus on your fitness, on your health, on nourishing your children, or just sustaining any part of your energy throughout the day, knowing what's for dinner is important, and knowing what you're going to feed everyone all day, every day is absolutely vital. Also, if you have a budget that you're trying to keep in mind, also really important. There's so many things that this one system will do for you. This is really straightforward. This is my menu board meal planning system. I'm using all of this information right here to tell everybody what's for dinner every single night. Nobody asks me what's for dinner anymore. They know to come right here. The premise of this entire system is built off of one simple old school menu card box that you can pick up from anywhere. It's very cheap. We have all of our family's favorite meals in here. This is what we use for a long time. We haven't been in this house very long, and you can see that our new menu cards are much smaller. The other board that we had was much bigger. I've had lots of different menu cards throughout the years. This will just kind of give you an idea of what this system looks like. And now I'm actually keeping my menu cards in this basket right here. our Sharpie ran out of marker, but normally I keep it in here. So get yourself this system in place for planning out and organizing your meals. It's a game changer. All right, let's talk calendar system. I'm right here in my main command center, which I call this like my communication board. I've broken mine up into different pieces just because it's aesthetically pleasing and I like the design of it. But this right here is a new addition to my calendar system. Honestly, this is just a paper wall calendar that is undated. And this is like literally a brand new addition because my littlest one doesn't have a phone. My oldest one does, and she's very interested in being involved in this. Now, I've always had some type of calendar for the little kids, and that's really important. So I'm gonna talk to you about this in just a second, but the reason why you need a calendar system, I'm using my Google Calendar 100% of the time. Not to put my time blocks in it, which we are gonna talk about, but to make sure that I'm not dropping the ball. So my calendar, like my actual calendar on where I'm supposed to be and making sure that the dog is where they're supposed to be for his appointments, grooming or whatever, and the kids to all the tons of extracurricular activities, which I have like T-minus an hour or so until I've got to have all of this wrapped up in my whole house before I can get out the door. And the reason why I know all those things is because of what I put in my Google Calendar. So it's really important that your Google Calendar doesn't have everything in it. I highly suggest getting your time blocks out of there and only having the things that you and your family would be considered late to, right? So school drop off, school pickup, you need that in there. Any appointments. Also, I teach very in depth about fundamental needs. Now, fundamental needs could be working out, meal prepping, those things you wouldn't be considered late, but they're so fundamental and so valuable in your life that we actually do in our family. And how my home management system works is we are putting those inside of our Google Calendar. The biggest part of that calendar system and why I put those two things in there is because every single person will put their fundamental needs on the back burner. If you get double booked with an appointment over when you were supposed to work out, what happens? Do you cancel your appointment? No, you cancel your workout, and that is not helping you reach your goals. Okay, this is system number 4, and I want to talk to you about my system for getting to-dos done. There is not one person on this planet that believes me when I tell them that I literally can reduce your to-do list by 95% just by following this one system. Before I talk to you about what it is that reduces your to-do list by 95%, I want you to see where I'm actually keeping my to-do list. So this is my paper planner. I've talked about it a lot. I'll keep talking about it. It's made by Horatio Printing. So she's actually a good friend of mine, and she calls it the Dream Planner. I've been using this planner forever. My fundamental needs system is in the front of it. She loved it so much. But every single week inside, there is a to-do list section, and this is where I'm keeping my to-do list. You can see that my to-do list only has like 2 or 3 things on it every single week. That is because my system for my to-dos takes 95% of the things that you likely are writing down that have to get done every single day and every single week and every single month, and I've automated them. They're literally just ingrained in my life. I have fundamental needs. I have an 8, a great 8 is what I call them, my core fundamental needs that I repeat every single week. I have them written down in here and I can show them to you. I don't always have to repeat them and write them down myself, but I want to show you what it looks like when you write these out in your planner. And so I'm actually repeating those every single week over and over and over again. And then my time blocks and my routine stacks are actually a really fantastic way for me to take all of the things that I'm trying to get done in a day or a week and just automate them. So my actual to-do list and the system that I have in place to be able to tackle them is just, I put an hour or 2 on the calendar every single week. And you can see this is a really great example of one. So this says to-dos right here, and this is the to-do list, right? And I was able to get through those. And this is a week whenever I had a lot more than normal. And so at the beginning of the week on Sundays, I sit down and I plan out my week. Sometimes I do it on Saturdays. And I look at what's ahead and then I write down all the things I need to do for that week. And I literally get them done almost every single week, not always. And it's very common, and maybe you've experienced this, to not get through your to-do list like ever. and for that to feel like something that you just keep kicking the can further and further down the road. So as you can see, I have been doing this in my planner for a really, really long time, and I have years of these with this exact same system inside, the exact same to-do list system in here. And these are the 8 fundamental needs that are the major things that I have to do. So my Sunday sit down is when I plan my week, right? That allows me to, that encapsulates a lot of things, finances and looking at the kids' school calendars and is gymnastics canceled this week, like so many different things. Then planning our family fun for the week, meal planning for the whole week, my work block and all that comes with that, which we are going to talk about here in a minute. And when I'm working out, when are we having date night? And then I have a specific hour or 2 set aside every week to make sure that I put time aside to do all of these to-dos, right? And then the last one for me is house projects or deep cleaning or zone cleaning my house. System number 5 that is going to help you completely escape your overwhelm is really the glue that holds everything together, and it is my 5-block time blocking system. I know you've heard about time blocking all over the internet, and there's so many pretty beautiful examples of it. And I actually love what mine has shaked out to look like. I got some pretty markers that are aesthetically pleasing and highlighters, and it is really beautiful. And that is a part of why I love it. But essentially having a time blocking system, especially the one that I very highly encourage you to use, which is the 5-block time blocking system, this allows you to not feel super overwhelmed. A lot of time blocking methods that you'll see out there are just a glorified schedule, and a lot of people put them in their Google Calendar and their paper planner as well. But with my 5-block method, you'll begin to see that your entire day and all the things that you're doing are now 5 bite-sized mental blocks that you can really wrap your brain around and stop feeling like you're chasing your own tail and putting out fires all day long. This isn't about scheduling your day to where you can fit everything in. Essentially, the 5 blocks are going to cover the 3 main areas of your life that you have to give your time and energy and heart and passion and love and talent to right now, which is your family and your home, your marriage. That's one big piece of who you are. And then you have your work. And then the one thing that everybody leaves out is ourselves, which we're going to be talking about how, and later on in one of the systems, how to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and a system for that. And this is a big part of it. Having a rhythm for your day that you can really understand that doesn't make you feel like you're on like a go schedule is absolutely refreshing. And it doesn't feel rigid. It doesn't feel restrictive. So for all of you type B people out there that are like, look, I really wish I could be a type A planner baby like the rest of you, I'm telling you, this is so easy for you to wrap your brain around. It's 5 simple blocks in the day. And honestly, there are some days where I don't have work. And so I pull my work block out and we're just humbly working through serving other people all day long and taking care of our home and getting our fundamental needs done and making sure that our day is bookended with a time block for ourselves, first thing in the morning and the last part of every single day. These time blocks, specifically these 5, are a huge game changer. If you're looking to get out of overwhelm, this is a system that you need to learn. The Escape Challenge is absolutely going to teach you about all of this, so I do hope to see you there. All right, system number 6, I'm busting out all of the things. This is my system for Bible study, and I will tell you, it's changed over the years, but what I'm going to share with you now are all the things that I do to be able to get into the Word and study. It's a huge part of how I manage my business and my entire life, actually. It's how I keep my sanity, and my faith is a really big part of everything that I do, and sometimes I just don't make the time like I should, or I don't have the time, as we say, and so there are some things that I have here that I can get really deep into, and I'm going to show them to you. And then there are other things that I literally can do on the go. Most importantly, the foundation of this system really does hinge on making the time for it. And so in my planner, I actually have like a habit tracker where I'm tracking to make sure that I'm doing this as much as I can down at the very bottom. I'm telling you, I have like a stack of resources, and I can't wait to show you what these look like. Obviously, we'll be linking so many things down in the description, but So if we look at September, I want to be doing this as often as I can. And so down at the very bottom, I'm tracking if I'm doing it here, but I've set time aside in my mornings and in my evenings. You can see that like it literally says read, and that's what I'm doing, my reading, my praying, my studying. And I'm also getting it in the morning as well. So let's blow through these. This is a Bible study also from Horatio. Polly made this, and this is the Seasons of Soap. There's multiple different volumes, but I love this one because it goes through scripture, observation, application, and prayer. You write all this information down. It's a pretty solid Bible study in a quick minute. This is just a prayer journal, and I wanted to share this with you. I got a couple of them off of Amazon that I'm really loving right now. But when I really want to get deep into my Bible study, I actually have a MacArthur Study Bible. One of the pastors at my church gave this to me, and it is wildly helpful. I really, really love the enormous amount of notes that's at the bottom of it. And then I also have this Bible study handbook from the Daily Grace Co. And it is absolutely stunning. All of their resources are stunning. And I can't explain to you how helpful this has been to help me. They have so many different graphics just to help me understand things that I would have never known. And they do have two options in here. They have like the beginner section of the book is in the beginning, and then it goes into advanced. There's maps and all kinds of stuff. So if I've got a specific, and it literally inside here, it teaches you how to use this resource, which is really, really helpful. So the Daily Grace Co. has the beginner, intermediate, and advanced sections, the foundations inside of here. And this has been really helpful because sometimes my brain is really full and super busy. And if I don't have something to guide me and help me, I really don't know where to start. So even if I don't have like an exact plan that I'm doing at the moment, I can just open this up at any time, look at it, find scripture or have a scripture and come here and look deeper at it. And last thing that I do want to mention is the app that I'm using. I use Dwell, and it is absolutely incredible. If I'm just wanting to get into the word a little bit and do a quick study on it, they have tons of Bible studies there, a whole bunch of resources that you can listen to when you're in the car. They actually have a kids version of it, and I'll definitely link that down below as well. All right, let's talk laundry systems really quick. This is the bane of so many people's existence. And let me tell you, a good laundry system will absolutely save you. So here's the deal. All you need to do to figure out your laundry system is take the total number of people in your house that need to do laundry. So say there's 4 of you. How often do you need to do laundry for each person? Once a week? Great. So every single person should be doing their own laundry if they're old enough. And if that's not the way that you have arranged things in your house, and maybe you're the one that's doing laundry for everybody, then you're going to want to look at that. If it's an hour per person, do you want to put 4 hours together, or do you want to put a literal actual queue to do laundry in your stack of routines throughout the day that says every single day before I pick up the kids from school, we throw it in. Whenever I get back, we take it out, we fold it together, and it's done. And we do that on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever that is. Now, here's the last part of this system. I've definitely shared this before on the channel, but I want to make sure that you know that having a really, really small laundry bin is absolutely ideal. So this thing is super tiny, okay? This is 1 load of laundry that fits in here. That is the way to making sure that you don't have massive laundry hampers. Like, let's look at this laundry hamper. This is like a typical standard size laundry hamper, and we definitely use this up here in the laundry room, but it's to put towels in and big blankets in that will fit in here, but we're not shoving a ton of loads of laundry into a massive laundry basket. So fix that as a part of your laundry system ASAP, and it will bring you a ton of relief. System number 8 truly is my pride and joy. I mean, I love all my systems, but system number 8 is called an operating system. What in the world does that mean? Well, if you're overwhelmed because you're trying to start a business, grow a business, maintain a business, or just make money in general, all of the tasks that you have to do in your business are likely all over the place, and they probably don't have a system. Most people say, yeah, I've got Asana, I have Trello, I have a system, but come to find out, things are lost all over the place. Does that feel like you? It feels very familiar to a lot of people, and it felt really familiar to me when I first started juggling home and business together. I had a wedding business that I had many years before I started this company. And I also was a professional sign language interpreter for almost 20 years. And I never really needed to have those things as organized as I needed to have this business because they were kind of part-time. And once I started scaling and growing them, then things shifted. And when it got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, like I really need to be able to produce because my intent with this business is to like actually make money. That's when I knew that I needed systems in place. So here's the deal. If you have any type of work that you're trying to juggle, you need all of those things that make the business operate, AKA you, or if you have a team of people, which I also do, you need a system for how you're operating. I keep my operating system inside of Meister Task. You can keep yours anywhere you want, but what you put inside of that is what matters. And that is where I designed and created a very specific operating system. This tells me what I need to do every day, every week, every month in my business. It aligns with my work blocks that are here inside of my planner. And I just simply move things along from to do for the day to in progress to done. And we reset that whole thing every single week. Just like I reset my home management system every week, I also reset my operating system every single week. If you're curious about what this looks like or how you can get this in place in your business, don't worry, I got you. I've got more videos to come. The Escape Challenge is going to go deep into this, and I have tons of resources for you on my website. If you have a business, this is completely non-negotiable. From serving your clients, all of the ins and outs, like the tedious stuff that you don't really want to do, checking your emails, content planning, being able to keep up with providing the services for multiple clients without dropping the ball. If you're creating any kind of content, YouTube videos, blogs, social media, all of it, anything that you have to produce, all of the ins and outs every single day, this is absolutely a game changer. All right, tell me down in the comments if you struggle with keeping up with dishes. This used to be really hard for me. And I remember when I was a kid growing up, we always had a sink full of dishes. And for many years, as a wife and a mom, we often had a sink full of dishes. It's not uncommon for the students that I work with to also always wake up to a sink full of dishes. This system will literally change your life. And honestly, right now, I have a few dishes in my sink. I normally don't. I know exactly why this happened and I know exactly how to fix it. I just know that this morning, the person that was supposed to unload the dishwasher didn't get the dishwasher unloaded on time for all of breakfast dishes to be put in here. This will get done as soon as I'm done working so that I can go into my evening before I come in here to cook and have that cleaned out. But here is the quick and really simple way. Make sure that every single night you run your dishwasher and every single morning you unload it. Every single person throughout the day that uses a dish needs to either put it in the dishwasher or they need to hand wash it and put it on the dry rack. That's it. End of the day, this all gets emptied, this gets loaded, this gets ran, and that cycle just continues. So what happens when somebody misses their responsibility? Well, somebody else in the family can contribute, and that's exactly what happened. The kids pitched in. Dad had needed some extra time to himself this morning. Some things got delayed. Awesome. Kids pitched in, dishwasher got unloaded. And honestly, the kids should be doing it every morning, in my opinion. And we're working on it. We're getting there. So whenever you know what the systems are in your house, it makes it super easy for you to outsource that to your kids. All right, let's talk about my self-care system. What does this even mean? How do you have a system for self-care? Well, you definitely should. I think the number one thing that we do as wives and moms and people that are really super busy is we put ourselves on the back burner. So making sure that you have time set aside for yourself is really important. And we've already talked about my fundamental needs system, and that honestly is the self-care system. If you are prioritizing your fundamental needs, you are going to feel fully taken care of. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper into like the typical self-care, do your nails and your hair, a little bit of your makeup, etc., and just share a couple of my favorite things with you that I'm doing right now while I'm managing my business and my kids. I have growing girls and my husband just transitioned work and just a lot of different things. So honestly, one of the major things I'm doing right now to take care of myself and to have time with myself is to make sure that I'm getting my workouts in. I've done a lot of work and I have finally found a time, and I would encourage you too, to find a time that actually is something that you can sustain. And for a long time, I was trying to make it fit in the middle of the day and it just wasn't working. So I was skipping workouts. Well, so I moved it to 5:30 in the morning. And as much as you would think that that doesn't work, it actually has been working out really, really well. So being able to pour into my actual physical strength has helped me tremendously. Another thing that I love so much is taking care of my insides. I've been working to heal my gut for many, many years, ebbs and flows, lots of different things. But supplements are a big part of what I have on board for taking care of my health. And call me crazy and let's just say it's super silly, but this beautiful pill box is such a huge part of my self-care system. So this is a company called Dosi, and they make tons of different options. And I load this up every weekend, and then I know every single day. And they have other options or other systems, right? Other pill cases that have AM and PM, and this one doesn't. It's just completely open. And I did get one of their other ones to test it out. I love this one so much. I might get 2 different colors and have an AM and a PM one. And then, because I have quite a few supplements that I'm taking right now for a specific period of time. Anyway, so this is a huge one. The other thing that I really love right now for self-care is reading. I have a really great book and I found a really fun hack. I actually have a book that helps me wind down at night, and I have a book for the morning that gets me really ramped up. One of them is based on goals and physical fitness, and it's super amazing. And the other one is all about prayer and reflection. And I'm like, this is amazing. And so I really love taking even just 5 or 10 minutes just to sit and read about a chapter or so in each of those books every day. Last but not least, I do love to get my nails done, and I actually have been doing them on my own. I'm still a super huge fan of Olive and June, and I make sure that every morning I have time to touch up my hair, touch up my makeup really quick, and use that as a time for me to pour into myself and to be reflecting on my day when I'm taking my makeup off. As I actually talk about that, one other thing that I didn't even think to mention that I do often, not as often as I should, as a part of my self-care routine, is I use my frownies. So like I literally tape my face up with frownies and I sleep with my face casted because I'm super not into Botox. And so it actually helps reduce fine lines without having to get things done and put into your face. So those are some of the things that I'm doing. But I think really the biggest point that I want to make about it is just making sure that even in the beginning and the end of your day, that you've buffered in your own morning routine and your own morning routine and nighttime routine after the kids have gone to bed and before they get up, because that's essentially the time of day whenever I am getting in a little bit of self-care for myself. Well, that's it. There you have it. All 10 systems that I highly recommend. Pretty brief, in a nutshell. They're literally going to make the biggest difference. If you are looking to get out of overwhelm, this is where you start. Just start chipping away at 1 through 10 and all of these systems, and you're going to start to see huge improvement in your life. These are simple, they're straightforward, they're very doable. Just thinking about the menu board. This is something that you can whip out tonight. I know you're like, I don't have a ton of free time. When do you actually do this? Well, next time you sit down to go to the grocery store, take an additional few minutes to make a few menu cards, and there you go. That's the start of the system. You don't have to overcomplicate this. You can get to work right away. You don't have to keep recreating the whole wheel of chaos over and over and over again. I believe in these systems so much, and I believe that you are here watching this YouTube video because you were meant to start putting systems in your life too. Maybe you already have a few systems, or maybe you feel like you don't have any at all. This is the place to learn the systems that are truly going to take you from being completely disorganized and overwhelmed into that joyful life of having organization and systems in place. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Systemize Your Life YouTube channel. I can't wait to see you over inside of the Escape Challenge, and I hope to see you back here for the very next video on the Systemize Your Life YouTube channel.